Hey everybody, my name is Eric. I'm making a game in a room that is too brightly lit. Hold on a second. Hold on. Close the door behind me so nobody sneaks up behind me. That's important. Turn the mood light on. Got a whole ritual here. It's Eric time. It's time to make a game called The Godkiller. The Godkiller. The Godkiller. Yeah. So every day I make some progress. I'm very careful to be clear in kind of a legalistic way what counts as progress and what does not. So I'd say, okay, if I'm coming up with ideas for what I want to do, it doesn't count as progress. If I'm, I don't know, just trying different things that on a whim that may or may not make the game better, it doesn't count as progress. I have to have picked the thing that I want to do and completed it, and that's my definition of progress. And it's not a general definition, it's just the Eric Hermanson in 2021 and maybe 2020 definition of what counts as progress. And why do I do this? Why do I do this? I have good reasons. So it's kind of a brain hack thing. So when you do something kind of hard and then you succeed at it, your brain releases dopamine. And even like neurons will form up better around the things you're learning to achieve that end. But there's that little reward system. And I want to, as much as possible, for that reward system to be based on things that are real, that help me with my goals, and not some bullshit game like likes on Facebook or something like that. So I really have just sort of hacked my brain to allow me to work a second job, more or less, to work on this game. And I checked, and with the time I spend on average, about 40 hours a week working on the game, in addition to the 40 hours a week I spend as an engineering manager for another company to pay my bills and pay them well. They can give me this nice house that I can live in and all that kind of stuff. So I'm working two jobs right now. One is to pay the bills, and one is just a passion. I want that passion to stay there. To do it, I have to make sure that certain things happen. I think I've been successful. I think I've defined a pretty good set of rules for keeping myself motivated. So that's why if I am not able to make progress in a day, by my definition of progress, I start getting very bothered. And yesterday was a day like that. So I had the whole day to work on my game. The thought of having an entire Sunday without actually making progress on the game, but putting a lot of effort into it, which is not the same thing as progress, that agonizes me. And I had a problem to deal with, which was the build system that I'd set up, Unity Cloud Build, is hooked into another service called Bitbucket, which is Git hosting, and all of my source files are they're pushed there to that server, and then Unity Cloud Build will grab them and make a build for me. It'll make one for the Mac, it'll make one for Windows, and later on other targets, and then I send those out to the playtesters. The whole system I had working, but the problem was that Git does not function well when you have repositories that are above a certain size. So what some different people came up with was this thing called large file storage, LFS, which is an extension to Git. So I set up Bitbucket to use LFS, and it kind of worked. From the Bitbucket side it seems to work, but from the Unity Cloud Build side does not. So I said, I really want to fix this today. I asked around, what are people doing that works? I Googled. I ended up setting up the same solution again with GitHub and LFS, and that ran into some other technical problems. And And the problem with this, the reason why it was extra frustrating is that each time I wanted to see if it worked, whatever new setting I tweaked, whatever little change I made to a setting in a control panel or my Git client, it would take me 30 minutes to see failure. So what I was doing was launching a build and then going off and working on a second problem, which is also kind of hard and difficult. And then I would keep getting interrupted on the second problem by the results of the first thing coming in, and it would be fail. In various ways, it would be fail. So it was like the whole day, me working on two problems, and the first problem continuing to interrupt me and say, yeah, you failed, you got to do something else. Towards the end of the day, I didn't have progress on either of the two problems. So I switched to a different task, a third task, which I knew I could do, just because I wanted to end the day with some progress. I did manage to get the progress. And some part of my brain said, it's okay. The day's okay. A few things went wrong, but you got your progress, and that's all you need. So the machinery that makes it so that this number up here, 265, can keep progressing, was operating as it should. This is the number of consecutive days in a row I've made progress on the game. I had a gap between the last consecutive number of days of progress where I got up into the 300s, so I'm getting up there to where I was before. All right, so that was very long-winded. In this session, I'm going to work on the second problem. The second problem was performant blitting. Blitting is copying pixels from one area to another. Now, usually I start each session with a demo. I'll maybe just for the matter of keeping a good ritual, I'll show you what I did. My little throwaway task. There were some rails in this particular level. Not throwaway task, but okay, like token, like it's a small thing just to get some progress out of that day. So because I had LOD set up on some of these rails, and because the prefab connections were kind of confused by overrides and stuff, some of the geometry was disappearing when you got close, and there's a standard solution that I've been applying to each level, but it takes a while to go through it. So I fixed all the rails in this particular level, and that was my progress I made yesterday. The other two problems I did not technically make progress on, even though in a more general sense I did. I enlarged my understanding of different options inside of those two other problems. But in this session, I want to make progress on the second problem. Second problem is getting a certain kind of pixel copy to work. I'll go over to my test level. And I'll show you. Okay. So let's see. She's got her face visible. Face player do I have? Let's just do draw face old first. Okay, so this is the one that works. That is taking a long time. Just in case something funny is going on, I think I will quit out of Unity, come back in, because that took so long to rebuild that. I don't even know what the deal was with that. I hope it can go faster than that, because I don't want to have to wait a full 30 seconds just to command tab back over to Unity and have the build finish up. Oh yeah, sure. Uh, I think it's the dark theme that's included with Rider. Well, let's take a look. Hey, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Nice to meet you. Zora, I guess. Let's see. Color scheme. Rider dark. Yeah. Dark is good. Good for the eyes. Alright, let's see. So this is back. I'll hit play. Alright. That started pretty fast. I'm glad about that. It seems like restarting Unity was a good idea. Alright, let me do it full screen so we can see it a little better. Okay, so there's this face thing that will pop up when the character has something to say. And it will be animated. The eyes will move around. Different expressions show up on the face. Okay, this is all put together with multiple portions of a single texture. And I'll show you the texture in a moment. But the feature that I want to end up with is that I can set the alpha of this entire face so that it's translucent. Because there are many times where you want to show the face, but not at full opacity because it hides things that you want to be able to see. And there's also, when it appears or disappears, it'd be nice to fade it in or out. Okay. So I explored multiple solutions to this. One of the first things I tried was on this draw texture call, which draws from the sprite sheet, or the face sheet I call it, to the screen. You can pass in a render color. And that render color, you can say, I want not the full opacity, but maybe 20%. And that works. It works great. The only trouble is, since I have multiple parts to draw, and they go on top of each other, if each one is drawn translucently, they'll overlap each other and it won't look right. So the solution I came up with is I'll try to draw all these parts into an intermediate texture. Once all of them are in the intermediate texture, then I'll do one more draw texture call with one opacity for that whole thing, and then it will draw in a way that looks nice. And then I think where I left it was I just got going a little bit late in the day, and my brain was sort of adding bugs instead of fixing them, and that's when I kind of switched away to a different task so I could end the day with progress. Okay. So that's what I'm going to work on today, just to show a little bit more. Let's see if I can show what the face sheet looks like. So we go player. Yeah, this guy here. So this is the texture that it grabs from to put the face together. It'll put these eye blinks down first, then I think these irises here, then the eyelids, then it takes the top half of the face and puts over the top of that, and maybe the bottom half, but if the character is speaking, then it'll take one of these mouth frames and place them over the bottom half instead. So it's not real complicated how it puts the face together, but it's, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blits to make. Blits are pixel copies. So you've got different options for doing this blit. There's something called copy texture, which is fast and can use the GPU to perform it. It's got two downsides though. One is that not all hardware supports it. The other is that it doesn't on its own perform like a combination of two textures. So if there's alpha pixels in the source texture and you copy it to the destination texture, it's going to sort of overwrite the pixels that were in the transparent areas, and you know, that's not the end result that I want. Another thing I could do is use Blit, which would rely upon a material that includes a shader. I just don't feel like writing a shader. It'll kill a week for me because I'm not good at shaders. If I had someone who was good at shaders who was working on the team, I would say, "Can you do this? Be awesome." I don't. So for me, it would kill a week. The most flexible and simple way to write the Blit is with get pixels and set pixels. But performance-wise, you take a huge hit with it. What I figured out, though, was that I could reduce it to one call to set pixels, and I would get reasonable performance. So my frame rate would, be around 150 frames per second instead of 40 frames per second with my first implementation. Key thing is to put everything into these pixel buffers and not continuously call get pixel and set pixel and everything. And then you just end up with one call to set pixel. One call to set pixel. Trying to see where that is. Face to work. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. I might have left out the call to set pixel. And then that would perform the more CPU intensive work of getting the data into the texture. So anyways, that's what I'm working on. Where I left it, there were some bugs in this function I wrote. So I'm going to work on those next. Okay, down here, let's go ahead and add the set pixel call. Should come from work pixels, and that should do it. All right. Let me see if I just added a redundant call there. Let me check. Okay, is that the only call to set pixels? That's pretty good. I also need an apply. Okay. So this face to work function, I tried to write it in a really performance optimized way, but I think I screwed up somewhere, so I just need to step through this a little more slowly and make sure I got it right. Okay, what does it do? Just copies pixels, that's all it does. It says from this face pixels, which is the source, from these pixel coordinates, x, y, width, and height, that rectangle out of here, we're going to copy it to work pixels at destination x and y within the work pixels buffer. And then it sets up some stuff here to do it in a way I think is efficient. I feel like I need to check this because I'm getting out of bounds errors. I think I'll start by writing this so it goes up against the limits of what it could write to. because the work pixels buffer is 256 by 256. Let me double check that that's true. 256, 256. Okay. All right, I must check every single text that comes in because of some work stuff. All right, face to work. Okay, I will have to run this through in the debugger. But let me just look at it, execute with my eyes here, with my brain, and kind of think how this is all set. Okay, we'll set redye. Feel like it. Okay, so redye equals source y times source width well, I already see one problem. This should be render width. That might be the only problem. That on its own would explain everything I saw. Huh. Okay, also I can see right now is a real simple optimization. Just reuse source color. I just assigned it up above. I don't need to index into the array again. All right, I'm gonna try running it just to see if that was the last remaining bug. If not, I'll step through. Let's turn off maximize. Okay, but I don't think I called the right code. Oh. The lesson to me is a good night's sleep and coming at it fresh is really worthwhile. I was quite struggling before on this, but this is great. Let's look at the stats here. Hopefully it's up in the hundreds. Yeah, 240. Yeah, 240 something frames per second. Okay, cool. It's nice to have a little good news after all that frustration last night. Okay, so now I just need to put in the actual things that should be blit. I say just. This will take me, some hours to get right. Okay, so iWide's first. just putting some junk code in here, if I'm honest. Or I said not junk code, like proof of concept code. You know, before I kind of tuck this all away in a nice little function, I just want to get it working. Otherwise, I might over-design a function. I'm very inclined to do that. I just want to get it working to start. Let's say this goes into i's offset. Okay. And we'll say source X, source Y, W, H. Let's see if it draws the eye whites. Well, I was really right to restart Unity. It's working much faster now. Okay, no error. Well, I do see the eye whites. They're pretty subtle. I think because I've got the opacity set so low, they're just right here. Like they almost. Wait a minute. Is that junk on my screen? It might be junk on my screen. I hope. Huh. I thought I saw the eye whites, and it was just like some crud on my screen, so it's not actually there. Let's turn the opacity up so I can see what's actually going on. Set it all the way up to top. Opacity. Let's try it again. Nope, nothing there. Alright, time to debug. Gotta take a look at this code though. Okay, so I had some stuff here where I was just, God, how does this even work? I don't remember how my old code worked. Anyways, well, let's take a look. Let's take a look in the debugger. Alright, so X, what was it starting out at? 0. Is that true up above too in my original? Yep. And draw a texture at, I think this XY is supposed to be for the destination. Let me take a look at that. X, Y. Yeah, this goes into the destination rect, not the from rect. Okay, that's helpful to know. Okay, so I can ignore those values. I don't think they're even used below. -96. Okay, that was supposed to be screen coordinates. Or at least relative coordinates from the center where it would be placed on the screen. Before, I used to pass in the centered location, and then I pass in as a separate set of coordinates relative to that center, where will it be shown. That's fine. So let's look at the blank rect for the eye whites. It's giving me proportional coordinates inside of the face texture, not pixel coordinates. So this code here should convert those to pixel coordinates. It occurs to me I haven't done anything to flip my Y value. Inside of a texture, the Y is going to be flipped around so that 192 actually means 192 starting from the bottom of the texture, which is always confusing for me. I think I did do that flipping up top in this old function. Is that true? Maybe I didn't need to, because Okay. Flipping could be an issue, but let's look at everything else. Source for X 512, source Y 192. Let's open Is that 1024? No, it's 2048. That's okay. Okay, so if we said 192, I think it would be up here somewhere. It would be like in the top 15% of the pixels. And I think what's intended is for it to be in the top 15% or the bottom 15%. But still, if that's the case, I'm wondering why it didn't just like show M's hair in the blit. I think there's still some other mystery to solve. $512. The 512 is the halfway point. That's correct. It should start at 512, right around here. Width 0, that's not right. Okay, so this is, I forgot to put parentheses around this. So it converted this to an integer, which zeroed it, and then it multiplied by the texture. Okay. That would be the first set of bugs to fix. Let me see if I get like the non-flipped location that shows her hair instead of the eye whites if I do this. I also think I can just change this to bam, bam, and just set that to X, set that to Y. Okay. Oh, I hate it when I change my code while it's still running. That's a bad thing to do. No, I got the eye whites. Okay, the reason that works without a flip is that when I do a get pixels on the face sheet, it performs the flip for me. Anyways, that's my explanation. All right, so it's got the eyes down there. Later on, I'll get the centering right so that it's up above the player's character again. But for now, that's not a bad start. Let me see how much else I can get in working. It might be a good time to refactor face to work so it takes the from rect here from the face sheet and does all the stuff inside of it. So let's see. Ideally, I want to be something like face sheet blank rect. Okay, so if we do that, then you take this code come up to face to work. Okay, I'll just leave a note to myself. Optimize. Only perform the percent pixel conversion once, e.g. inside a face rect or face sheet. But for now, this is okay. I doubt it's going to create trouble for me. All right. Okay, so that's the first thing working. Let's go on to the next. Hoping I can just kind of follow the pattern here without much thought. Okay. This might work. I've got compilation errors. Oh, okay, then this one I also want to get y minus lid offset. This is a good thing about Writer. All the little warnings and errors and stuff it gives you, or the linting, they actually help me find problems. I did not find these problems inside of VS Code, or not VS Code, but I don't know. I forget the name of it. Visual Studio, I guess. So I generally feel pretty good about, oops, just getting rid of the things that says don't matter, or fixing the things that ask me to fix. All right. Some didn't work. Index out of, okay, where's that? Okay, that one didn't work. Okay, let's see what it sees. Okay, X and Y. Oh. Is this gonna be off? Yeah, it's off. Okay, I think it should be something more like 0. Yeah, that's it. Okay, got it. What? Okay. Okay, some things are off. I think it's all there, but I got like the top and bottom of the heads mixed around. Yeah, probably if I just swap these two around, it's going to be good again. So let's see. Y equals X equals 0. Y equals about this. Yes, okay, so this would not work just for the reason that has to be multiplied by I don't know. Hold on, let's take a look at face sheet. Okay, these are in pixels, so that's fine. Who's calling this? First, I draw the top of the head. X, Y. Go up here, see what I did up here. Just so I can see clearly what's going on, let's take out bottom of the head. Just draw the top head. Also thought of one other thing I might want to do, which is put a couple pixels in there. Just for troubleshooting and just to see where the boundaries of this thing are. Okay, so let's say pixels 0 equals pixels pixel count -1 equals red color. Okay. Just want to see where everything's being drawn inside of this area. Is it that the pixel is so small I can't see it? Because it sort of looks like it's just not there. I'm guessing that my initial position on the eye blinks is wrong. Yeah, but there's a number of things that aren't quite working right. Alright, let's figure it out just one at a time. First thing, I want to be able to see these colors here. This red color. So let's turn everything off and make sure that that works. This is important. It's relying on X and Y to pass down here. Is that true up above as well? It is. No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay. Let's just say center X for now. Okay. All right. Show me those little red pixels. I do not see them. What to think of that? Okay, that works. see if I can get that showing a border. Maybe it's like pixels that when they get so small you can't see them or something like that. Okay. That'll do. That'll help me see where things are being put, relatively speaking. Okay, let's add them in one at a time. I know that they can all be blit, but the question is, can they be blit to the right locations inside? So let's start with the eye whites, which should end up... Actually, I already know that it can't be right. Eyes offset X and Y. Those values... $32 and oh, maybe they could be right. Yeah, those don't look bad. Okay. Maybe they are right. That looks right. Good. Okay, let's do the next one after that. Okay, that's right too. Very good. Okay, then we do the lids. Okay, the lids are off. I think they're off on the y-axis, but X, they're okay. So no doubt I introduced some kind of bug. Let me see what the old code did. I think the lid offset I need to convert. No, it's not right, because originally this was taking pixel coordinates. Okay, I was thinking I might need to convert this from percent to pixel coordinates, but this seems correct. What's lid's travel height? Old code versus new code. This is exactly the same. Okay. Turn that back on. Try it again. Looks like I got a flip on the Y. So that's all the way open. This is all the way closed. It looks like a flip on the Y. See, as I open it, it should be going up. I think that's all it is. So if I go Y plus lid offset. There we go. All the way closed, all the way open. Correct. All right, getting there. Top of the head. Okay, now the top of the head is way too low. It seems to me that this is another Y flipping issue. So I'm saying draw it at 0, and it's putting it there. Maybe I need to set it up here. God, I hate Y flipping. It always messes me up. It makes it hard for me to conceptualize. Screen pixels go top to bottom. Texture pixels go bottom to top. Why? Just do it one way. I would have learned it by now. If you just were stuck to one way, it's like imperial versus metric. Just pick one. Let's all do metric system. God, US is stupid about that. All right. Going off into my unproductive rants way too easily. Okay, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to get myself a snack. I'm going to be right back. Hmm. Let's see. I think I want y to equal I think I want that. Although a few things are still off. Oh. Okay. I'll hit unplay. It will revert the offset that I just put in. But I'm pretty sure if I just take 105 and just flip it, I'll do 256 minus 105. Oh no, I'm off. That's not it. Anyways, I have pretty good results there with 85. Let's put that in for now. Let's get the bottom of the head in. Which is probably just setting it to 0. I'll do maximize so I can see a little bit. Leave it off for now. Leave it off for now. Okay, 85. There we go. She's all there. She got all dark again. Okay, turn sRGB back on. Let's see if that fixes the color. Apply, yes. Apply, thank you. Does not fix it. Does it do anything at all? Apparently not. But the color pixels would have to be re-imported. I mean, I've got all the pixel data. I could apply my own changes to it if I want to lighten it a little bit. It's kind of irritating to have to color balance it myself. It's supposed to look like this. There's some kind of transformation being made there in the colors, but I'm probably not going to worry about that in this particular session. Let's put that back. Okay. So I'm getting closer. Do I need any of these? Do I need width ratio? I might. Let's move this all down below though. Get rid of these two. Yeah. Oh god damn it. Totally lost my concentration. That's because at work, I'm on call for something at work, and the notification for it, I have to respond to quickly, would come in through a text. And my wife was sending me some text, and so it's like, how to ask nicely not to send me a lot of texts. A little bit's okay, but not a lot, not a whole bunch, because every single one I gotta look at and respond to, or potentially respond to really fast, or it escalates into something else I have to deal with. So I had to stop and think about how to say it nicely without adding cringes and bad feelings. But it wasn't work, it was just my wife. And I love her. Anyways, okay, back to this. This is definitely not good code. It's just kind of accretion code. I've lost track of how it was supposed to work. I don't think that's quite right. I should be able to do the same XY stuff as I did up above. Let me just check. The only thing that's different really is the X and Y at the end will be someplace different. No, that's not quite right. Okay, so let's see. So X equals what? Center X plus something times width ratio. What was it before? Center X plus okay, let me just see where it pops up with this. Is this affecting it? Good. Okay. I guess I could encapsulate this a little bit too. I just want to get working before I tuck it all away into something neat. So there's the pixel width. It's saying that that is the width of one pixel. What does that even mean, pixel width? Pixel width equals screen. Oh, I see. So one source pixel equals this many destination pixels. Does that make sense? Let me look at what I've got here. Yeah, okay. So I would say here 1 pixel is equal to... No, it doesn't make sense. Oh, the width in pixels for the face. Just rename this, give it better names. Let's see. Render pixel width. Okay. What is width ratio used for? This down here. Let's see, this is a terrible name. This is render pixel width divided by the width of one face, which is also the same thing as render width. Let's call this render width ratio. But if it's a ratio of what to what? Yeah, I guess I don't know what it is yet. Let's just call it that. Okay, so this could be, say, seems quite convoluted. Hopefully I can do something better. It did put it in a good spot. Okay, let's get rid of those guide pixels, or those border pixels. I'll do a maximize. like I've got little holes in the lid. Yeah, I've got a hole right there. Let me check my frame rate too. Good, it's up high. It's just that set pixels and or the apply that cause it to nosedive. I only have to call it one time. Okay. All right. So let's clean up the code. There's a bunch of calcs here. I'm just not convinced they all need to be performed all the time. There's also a pretty good argument for not optimizing early. But let's at least encapsulate all this. So what is the stuff that is truly needed below? We need the to rect, the from rect. From rect is always going to be the same. Okay. Let's move from rect and render color to statics. I wish I could do a const. No. This is pretty easy to tuck away. So let's do static. We'll say render texture. No. Texture to D, and I think it's a bad idea to call it render texture. I'll change that name in a second. Because render texture means a render texture to most people that would read it, even me. Let's do a float alpha that gets passed in. Or just all that stuff can go in there. So let's see, draw. Just use all these. Okay. I keep going back and forth between making a function where you pass in everything versus one that relies on all kinds of set variables. Just for the moment, let's just do it with toRect being the only thing that gets passed in. Also kind of curious if there's already like a built-in constant for just like a rect that's got, yeah, like this one maybe. No. That's the 0, 1, okay. Seems like I ought to just put all this stuff into. Alright, suppose I made this static. What all would I have to pass in? Interesting. Yeah, there's just too many like globals basically. So I do need to clean this up a little bit. That's going to take a little bit of design. Alright, let's put it back to non-static. Let's start making the changes that I know I want first. I don't want the render texture to be called render texture. I want it to be called work texture. And we'll call this work width, work height. Okay, let's go back up to the top. Do the same thing with the declarations. Oops, I don't see them up here. So that probably means I've still got them down this little block here. So let's move that up top. Makes sense to put this up above with the rest. Oh, except those are publics. No, these are non-public. Okay. Did something a little bit dangerous down beneath with static variables, those reuse variables. Because this is not a singleton class, so I do need to fix those. Before I forget, that was a plane about 200 feet from me. Okay, so now that I've got the new code working like the old code, well, I will run it one more time just to make sure that it is. But I should be able to delete this draw face old. Let's just make sure I haven't regressed before I do that. There's that weird thing with the lid, which I don't have an explanation for, but it's not going to, whatever the clue is, it's not going to come from the old code, so I'm okay to delete that. this guy. Delete this guy. It seems to me that see, this is not being used by anything, right? All right, I'm going to take that out. So it seems to me that although I have some settings here that are things I can play with inside of the IDE, they're not necessarily the calculations around them shouldn't be performed every single time. All right, let me look through some more. What else? I don't need to worry a lot about performance. It's more like I need to untangle some of these values that are just globals. Okay, this is not a reuse anymore. This is so some things change. In response to different things. So there's some of these that are tied to the screen sizing changing, which is always possible. This is meant to be just a constant. I would make it a constant if C# was a little more resourceful in how it compiled things like C or C++ is. But nah. I'll treat it like a constant, hence, God damn you. Yeah, I'll throw that up top. Maybe let's call it you're saying that's expensive. Well, that interests me. We'll check that out in a second. Also seems like this could be simplified. Center Y plus minus. Okay, I think this is actually supposed to be minus. What is your complaint? What is CY base? Weird how if I say plus like that, it's fine. Okay. In any case, I think I should be able to take some of these and simplify them. Get face screen chords. Okay, you don't like get screen chords. Okay, you don't like comparing the current camera to null. I wonder why I had this in the first place. You also don't like that call there. Okay, so let's just encapsulate this. I could say wish I had left some comments here about what specifically I was checking for. I know there are some cases where this code can get called without a main camera being set. I don't know if it's like initialization. Does it work better if I say default? I don't think it will. That does work? What? But this is expensive, you're saying? And the problem with setting this to this static. Damn it. There was some bug I fixed with this check. How about this? No, if it's static, that's the problem. If it's static, static functions, this is a weird irony. Static functions are safer than non-static functions. Static variables are more dangerous than non-static variables. It works exactly the opposite. But then you do like this static thing here. It's not public. Okay, what about this? Let's get rid of the statics on these. That causes all kinds of issues. Call this current camera. This does not need to be static. Okay, here we'll say so suddenly this is not expensive. You're saying that if I put static, it's expensive? What was the thing that made it expensive? That's nonsensical. I might be chasing after something that just doesn't matter. Let me take this out. Okay. See, now it's make up your mind. Make up your mind. Okay. This is not static. Okay. Could also do something like camera. Who's calling? Who's calling it? Yeah, you are not even. Okay, so don't need to be public. What about being static? Can you be static? Oh, then you gotta pass in the transform and all that. Okay. Ooh, boy, this doesn't want to be static. Let's put it back. It's just got too many things to pass in. But I will keep the camera as something you pass through. I keep going back and forth in this. Let me try. I'll probably not be happy with the results, but let me try just setting current camera at start or initialization. No, you don't need that anymore. Take that out. Okay. These will be needed. Okay, and we'll say current camera equals camera main. I suspect I tried this before and it didn't work, but if that's the case, I'll fix it again. All right. Let's try it. That's probably going to do exactly what I did before. That's fine. What I'm trying to see is if this little pixel on the eyelid is a transparent pixel or if it's just a bit of junk that came in from the texture up above. I bet it's from the oh, I say that and suddenly it gets dark, light, dark. Oh man. Oh, I think I got it. I think I got it. Say if source color A is greater than work pixels right by A. Basically, the opacity of the source has to be more than the opacity of what's underneath it. I think it is a bit of junk in the texture, but this should tell me. No, well, that's interesting. Horrific. No, that was not the right logic. Let's see, what was that before? Greater than 0? Let's just set a higher threshold. Let's say it's got to be more than half opaque, and then I'll copy it. So I think there's just some pixels that are just have a little bit of opacity to them. Yeah, that was it. That was it. So that fixed that. Good. Okay, now let's add an opacity setting. let's see if I can get the thing that I made all these changes for in the first place. There we go. Walk around a little bit, make sure it's no artifacts. Okay, that's great. That's what I wanted. Okay. So go all the way to 0. Can fade in. Oh, that's interesting. So at 0.5, that's maximum opacity. Going higher than that does nothing. Going lower than that, yeah, we get the fade out. Okay. So the opacity ought to be halved. Okay. This is probably a good place to stop, to be honest. Also, I want to take the settings here and apply them. Let's see. Let's copy the component, and I'll go into the prefab. Oh shit, I'll have to go in and replace all those players. So I have to go into each level and make replacements to get it to work. But it's still worth saving this in one centralized place, so let's go to the prefabs. Boom, scene organization, player. There we go. So, before I stop, I want to try to think of like what the smaller tasks are for finishing up the face, so I can have stuff that's ready to be used in future sessions, little bite-sized tasks. So let me start with okay, get all fast. Face. Okay, so let me just put in the stuff I know about. Okay, what else? So I was gonna say that, like, whenever the character speaks, that the emotion is displayed. I don't think that's quite right, though. Okay, let's look at it this way. Let's see. Let's break it out. Speech, say, shows face over character for duration of line face automatically fades lips file sets emotion level controller God, that's something to think about. Oh, I'm a little bit tired. This is actually some design work here. Let me just say, I won't try to design the whole thing out yet. Just for the moment, identifying things that I definitely want. Face fading controls. Face control. Fading methods. Yeah, so I'm just thinking about the problem of showing character reactions to things that other characters say. So I have a solution for authoring the emotions of a character while they speak their lines. I don't have anything in it for reactions of other characters to them. So I think I want the level controller. Able to set emotions directly. With a method like speech, say, including offset, speech, emote. I think that's what I want. I think we could start with POC. Level controller can set emotions, fading, look at, figure out in second pass, and figure out design of lips, anything new to add to it from this. So what I can do is I can start without the audio files, without the lips files, which are these animation timeline files, the format I created. And I can use the level controller, which is some programming, some code that just says what should happen at a level. I can use that to control the faces for a bit, and then as I do that, after a little while, I'll be able to think of how to streamline that and make that more of an authoring tool thing. I have like an authoring tool already that saves to these lips files. And if I start out without trying to put everything in that tool and just try it with the level controller first, which is like a programmatic way to do it, then I can see where it will save me time to move some of these controls over to the authoring file, the authoring tool in the lips file. Okay, so this should go in front of other stuff. And I'll even take that out. Design that covers requirements. Yeah. Trying to do the hard things first. This is one of the last remaining hard things. So if we come back to Photoshop, and it looks so much better in Photoshop than it does on the game screen, but oh well, maybe I'll get there. Okay, so then let's go to let's see, promo status. So I've got what looks like about everything done here in the engine. except for face animation, which is what I'm tackling next. Deathbox, which is a very special case bit of programming for one part of the game, but it depends upon face animation. So I really am trying to do all the hard stuff first. I don't think I'm doing too bad at that. So what I'm after here is it's an engine for, well, I mean, it's an engine, it's a subsystem within my engine that makes it so that it's really straightforward. I'm not going to say easy. There's still work, but it's really straightforward to put together character dialogue and the animation around it. So it'll be a very standardized flow that's repeatable, that, you know, if I get the proper funding, I can train up other people to work in that flow. And it won't be like I have to think about it fresh every time I want to do something in the game. It'll be an upfront investment that I make in getting this to work well. And after that, anytime there's new story I want to add, new dialogue, put voiceover in there and get animated faces along with it, it'll be straightforward. Just a set of tasks. Work through the flow. Output the right files. Get them in the game. Easily repeatable, like making an episode of The Simpsons after, 20 years or however long it's been. They got their process down pat. So I want to invest in the process to start, or the tools that would allow for the process to exist. And that's why I might be a year from completing this, even though the game plays from beginning to end. Because the story stuff, it wants that upfront investment. This is meant to be a franchise. It's meant to be something that I can generate new titles with without much risk. Okay. This is a good place to stop. I'm going to stop the stream. Anyone that's with me right now, lurking in the shadows, glad to have your silent company. And I hope you got something out of this. I definitely did. But this is the end of the stream. Stopping the stream. Stopping the stream. Stopping it now.